Have you ever wondered what would happen if you stopped eating sugar? What would happen to your muscles, your organs, your brain, and your mind, according to science? Does it really boost your health? Let's take a look. This is you, and you just woke up. Last night, you invited all your friends over for dinner, and for dessert, you made a massive triple chocolate cake. You made that cake as a farewell and told all your friends that from now on, you were becoming a gym bro. Your friends looked at you, laughed a bit, and went back to the cake. But you know you're serious. You know you have Spartan blood, and you're going to keep your promise. Quit sugar for an entire year. So there you are, the next morning, just out of bed, really craving a croissant. Sugar acts in your brain in a way that's similar to a drug. When you eat it, it stimulates the brain's reward center and causes dopamine to be released, the pleasure neurotransmitter. With each repeated sweet bite, your brain gets used to it and turns down the volume on that dopaminergic reward. So you need more and more sugar to get the same pleasant feeling. Now that you've suddenly cut off that supply, on day one, your body goes into withdrawal. Suddenly, there's no easy dopamine hit, and your body starts craving sugar desperately from all directions. But there's a silver lining. Even though today is filled with cravings and discomfort, silent positive changes have already begun. Your blood glucose levels stay more stable than usual because you didn't spike them with that freaking breakfast croissant. You might feel a slight dip in energy from not having sugar's quick calories, or maybe even a mild headache, but in return, your pancreas didn't have to release a flood of insulin like it would after a sugary hit, and that's a huge relief for your metabolism. During this first day, your body is telling you it feels a little better, but your mind is screaming for food. Don't listen to your mind. Use your Viking blood to hold out 4 more days because I promise it gets better. On day 5, when you wake up, you notice something subtle. Those unbearable cravings might have dropped in intensity. The most intense phase of withdrawal usually lasts between 2 and 5 days, so by the 5th day, you're likely reaching or have already passed the peak of this roller coaster. Many people say that day 4 or 5 marks a breaking point where the sugar anxiety begins to fade gradually. Your body, which used to scream for sugar, is now speaking a little softer. You might feel surprisingly proud of yourself. You've made it 5 days. Well done. That emotion isn't just mental. You're releasing dopamine from the satisfaction of having made it, but this time, it's a much healthier kind of dopamine. Small invisible wins are stacking up in your body. For example, your fasting insulin levels may be improving. Since you're not dumping huge amounts of sugar into your bloodstream, your pancreas has reduced its emergency insulin output, helping your cells become more sensitive to the hormone again. This is important. Insulin resistance, common in sugar-heavy diets, begins to reverse, helping prevent type 2 diabetes in the long run. Also, your liver is doing microscopic cartwheels of joy. For years, it may have had to turn excess fructose from sugar into fat, storing it inside itself. Now, after nearly a week without sugar overloads, there are no new fat deposits to process, and it can slowly begin to use or eliminate some of what it had. In fact, clinical studies with children have shown something remarkable. Cutting sugar from the diet can reduce liver fat in a matter of days. In one experiment, reducing added sugar intake from 28% of calories to 10% for just 9 days decreased liver fat by an average of 22%, an extremely impressive improvement. Day 7, first week done. Congratulations, you've completed your first week without added sugar. Jokes aside, this is a huge milestone, and your body and brain are already showing signs of adaptation. Most people say the first week is by far the toughest, with the most intense cravings and symptoms. Something that doesn't get mentioned enough is that your willpower has grown. 7 days of exercising your self-control muscle means today you feel more capable of saying no if someone offers you a slice of chocolate cake. And this isn't just psychological. On a neurological level, you've started strengthening new sugar-free connections. You're retraining your brain. Each time you beat a craving with a healthy alternative, like grabbing a fruit or just holding on, your neurons reinforced alternative reward pathways. This is neuroplasticity in action, your brain's ability to reorganize itself and break old habits while forming new ones. And you're using it in your favor. Day 15. Control is yours. You get out of bed like any other day lately, except something's different. Today is day 15. By now, you're starting to feel more in control of your food decisions. Remember 2 days ago when you were compulsively opening the cupboard looking for cookies? That's likely happening less often now, and even when temptation arises, you recognize it and manage it with strategies. You make yourself a tea, eat a piece of fruit, or simply let the impulse pass. Like a true Viking, your sugar cravings have dropped dramatically dramatically. Science backs this experience. Many studies have shown that the less you consume a sweet food, the fewer cravings you'll have for it over time. In your body by week 2, important changes are happening, even if you can't see them, that lay the groundwork for long-term health. For example, your gut microbiome. The billions of bacteria living in your gut are shifting for the better. High sugar diets promote the growth of bad bacteria and fungi like Candida, but by reducing sugar and eating more fiber, you feed beneficial bacteria. Many studies show that excess sugar disrupts the microbiome and can reduce bacterial diversity, contributing to chronic inflammation. Now, with 2 weeks off sugar, your gut is rebalancing. The harmful bacteria are starving and dying off, while the good ones thrive. This leads to less inflammation across your entire body. You may notice it especially in digestion. If you used to feel bloated or had heavy digestion before, now you probably feel lighter after meals, thanks to a healthier microbiome. It's well known that high blood sugar spikes temporarily suppress immune function. Classic research found that after consuming large amounts of glucose, white blood cells' ability to kill bacteria drops for several hours. Another shift that tends to happen around week 2 is in your palate and food preferences. Fruits now taste sweeter than you remembered. Cool, right? In fact, you might now taste something you used to enjoy, like coffee with 2 sugar cubes, and find it overly sweet or even undrinkable. If this happens, it's a very good sign. At this point, it's worth looking back. You've gone 2 full weeks without sugar, a clear sign you're on the right path. Did you know it's estimated that it takes about 3 to 4 weeks to build a new habit? You're almost halfway there. Day 30, a new body, a new mind. You get up with the same alarm, head to the same place, and have the same breakfast you've had for 30 days. Because yes, you've now gone 30 days without added sugar. 30 days might not seem like much over a whole lifetime, but what happens in this short time is truly extraordinary. By now, your body has undergone a metabolic transformation. It went from being an unstable sugar burner to a model of energy efficiency. Now you get energy more cleanly, burning stored fat and processing complex carbs with better control. Many changes that were brewing in previous weeks are now becoming noticeable. For example, you likely see body changes, weight loss, and reduced waist size. If you were overweight, losing a few kilos in 1 month without sugar is common. Everyone is different, of course, but dropping 2 to 5 kilograms is not unusual, especially if sugar made up a big chunk of your daily calories. Blood pressure often improves too. Less insulin and less inflammation mean more relaxed arteries. People with mild hypertension sometimes see their blood pressure normalize after a few weeks without sugar, especially if that dietary shift also led to weight loss, which it usually does. Another key player in this first month is your liver, which we've already talked about a few times. Now we can confidently say that if you had fatty liver, it's very likely it has significantly improved. A study published in Yamaha showed that reducing dietary fructose for 8 weeks substantially decreased liver fat in adults. In 4 weeks, you may not have fully reversed fatty liver, but you're clearly on your way. Also, liver enzymes in your blood have probably dropped toward normal ranges, indicating less liver inflammation. You're reversing damage caused by years of croissants with freaking sugary coffee. Your brain after 1 month. Neural adaptation is nearly complete by now. The drop in dopamine receptors caused by chronic sugar use, similar to what happens in other addictions, starts to reverse. Brain imaging studies in people with obesity show they have lower dopamine receptor availability in the brain, a kind of reward deficiency similar to addicts of illegal substances. After time without overstimulation, these receptors can normalize. We don't have a scanner to look inside your nucleus accumbens, but odds are your dopamine receptor sensitivity is increasing again, approaching a healthy balance. Mental health boosts. Your mental health improvements are becoming solid too. Your average mood is more stable and probably more elevated. You might even feel more upbeat and less anxious than before. Coincidence? I doubt it. A recent 2024 systematic review found that high sugar diets are linked to a 21% higher risk of depression. Since you've had a low sugar month, you may be noticing the opposite, fewer mood crashes. This also connects to reduced systemic inflammation, as chronic inflammation from sugary diets has been linked to depressive symptoms. Your sleep is improving as well. And another fascinating change, you've likely broken the sugar tolerance and addiction completely. For most people, 1 month is enough for what once felt essential to become completely unnecessary. You may even feel slight disgust at the idea of eating a croissant for breakfast. You've retrained your brain to get rewards from other sources. In essence, your habits have been rewritten. If sugar used to be the sneaky co-pilot constantly telling you to steer toward the bakery, that voice is now barely audible, and you're the one driving. You're in control now. You're holding the frying pan by the handle. You've spent 30 days making conscious decisions, and that feels powerful. Scientifically, your body is now much healthier than it was a month ago. Your metabolism has improved. You have lower cardiovascular risk, less inflammation, a stronger immune system, better sleep, better mental control, and a more balanced dopaminergic system. Subscribe, give it a like, and comment below if that's something you truly deeply want to see. See you in the next video.